What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 8 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Golgfag Maneater Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we got Greasus's moment, I guess Greasus's episode, as he faced off against a massive horde belonging to Kugath and just barely managed to eke out a win. Certainly made his name, and will reward him with a proper big ol' stack. Of course, we also got a nice battle for Golgi himself, who destroyed a massive pile of Chaos Dwarfs up north, and is proceeding to hopefully complete this contract within the next couple of turns. I imagine now once we reach the Volery, we'll be able to complete the contract, and hopefully it'll be worth a big old chunk of change. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this turn, let's see. By the looks of it, nothing. So I guess we're ready to end the turn and proceed to try to take those Dragon Isles. I really still want the influx of cash that we're bound to get from it. I'm a little bit worried about these guys retaking Pig Barter, but hopefully if we hit Shattered Stone Bay and then loop immediately to Ruin's End, rude name, this army won't be able to recruit sufficient troops to actually retake Pig Barter, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, skip unassigned skill points and building upgrades, and end the turn. Now, at the end of last episode, or somewhere during the time of last episode, I asked you guys for a opinion/vote/poll as to which of the armies we will be recruiting next. And at the time of this recording, it's tied at 48% for the all-ranged army and 48% for the all-cavalry army. So, well, we won't be recruiting it this episode anyway, because we still got to complete Greasus's, but by the time we start recording next episode, I will take whatever the vote is, even if it's by one vote. Hopefully the tie won't remain, because then I'll have to break the tie myself. Anyway, Settlement Garrison, auto-resolve, yeah, these guys don't care. And they're going to retake Nalfari Plain. Oh, bad idea on their part. They're just going to lose that army. And we have a bounty for them as well, which, well, I won't say no to. Imperial Wardens want military access. I mean, it's not a horrible idea. There's a decent likelihood that they'll die soon, but at the same time, we have military access with them, and it's fine to be friends with all the Cathian factions. We've already heavily damaged both of them, and, well, at the very least, the western provinces. And we will continue trading with them as much as possible, because we need the extra cash, so... fine, go for the mill. Well, you know what, not right now. We might later, but not until we potentially start fighting the Greenskins. Anyway, someone sack Nalfari Plain, Confederation Worldwalkers in Varg. Constructor Ma wants it. You're not my real Ma. What do we have here? Stormwrack Mount, Razor Sack. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We'll redo you. That's way too far, at least for us, as the next place we'll be going down is towards Mr. Scrag. A Goldtooth, I would like you to proceed to Shattered Stone Bay. Sack value is decent, but this is all territory that we will want to take for ourselves. So, go here. And I'm just going to assume that the auto-resolve won't hurt us too horrifically. It hurt the Bruiser pretty horrifically, but everybody else is fine. And then occupy it. And there we go. And, ooh, we got to keep the port and the wood. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm very happy with that one already. Alright, Mercy here is certainly rebuilding. Hopefully we can just manage to reach him. And here, Death Cheater Drolg. And let's build 3 lead belchers and just one of the Nobbler Trappers. I'm using the Nobbler Trappers temporarily while we don't have Iron Blasters or Scrap Launchers available here. We're just going to move southward and transfer all this so that we can delete Mr. Death Cheater Drolg here. And just so that Greasy has a ranged option available to him. Certainly he doesn't need the Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists here at the current time, at any rate. Any of you reached rank 12 yet? Yes, the Bruiser has, alright. So you have been saving points for this. Puncture, and that's Sundered Armor and Melee Attack, only for 48 seconds, 24 seconds. 38 seconds, okay. But still solid. Immovable Bulk is a pretty massive buff to both your melee capability and survivability, and then the same thing for Brutish Thug, as Well, Tyrant's Fist isn't crazy useful, at least, well, the experience is fine. And Standard Die, gotta get that extra melee defense for our Iron Guts. You know, funnily enough, we could make Greasus lead our cavalry army, because once again, he doesn't technically buff the Iron Guts, even though he used to. And if we really wanted to, since Bigga Stronga buffs all the cavalry units, we could make him be the cavalry lord. Another thing, I guess, is that no lords, unless I'm mistaken, no lords available to the ogres have a mount, which is a little bit weird. I think it might be, I think it's probably related to what they had available on the tabletop, but it's still odd. I feel like, I mean, maybe a tyrant wouldn't be able to tame a stone horn, but I don't know. Give bruisers like a Rhinox mount or a Mournfang, and then same with the well, not bruisers, Slaughtermasters, and probably the same thing for the tyrants. I don't know about the paymasters, but yeah, anyway. Actually, now that we have the paymasters, it makes tyrants kind of irrelevant, because their buffs army-wide are going to be a lot weaker than the paymasters, and sure, they'll fight stronger in melee, but you can compensate for that by using a butcher while buffing up the army significantly with the paymasters as a generalist lord. Anyway, you're going to Nalfari Plain. These guys have stopped right there with a decent little stack for our nobblers to fight. Pyrrhic victory, we'll see about that, especially now that we have 2 scrap launchers in the army, at the cost of one of the nobbler trappers, unfortunately, and one of the pigback riders, but I figured we probably want to keep the giants here for fighting certain things. Go.
Just use lot, remember. I want the leader's head. Intact, mind. Got it?
Alrighty, here we go. A little bit of more work for our little nobbler friends now with those scrap launchers. Now, the scrap launchers will get more powerful later on in the game, as we do have an upgrade that adds 2 more projectiles to the 3 that they currently have, and a 40% bump in damage is pretty darn solid. We will have to wait for that, though, because we do have other things. Now, we are going to start the battle up not with just the nobbler scrap launchers, but the bogglers of the mad marshes leading the Nobblar hunters into the fray, and just annoying the most fragile marauders that they can find, in particular those without shields, like the marauders with spears and marauders with great weapons, which give chase to the little nobblers. Love their little pot hats that they've got. They're just great. Alright, and it looks like they are fast enough for the enemy not to be able to catch them. Fairly fast at 44 as well. And we return to our own line, where we have the nobblers and our giants and firebellies and whatnot ready to meet the enemy. Now, speaking of the enemy, they are trying to get around our flanks, doing a little bit of damage to us with those marauder horses, and we're going to run our nobblers back through our lines and then start getting into that shootout with those enemy marauder horses. I'm actually going to be really interested to see how this army fares against armies that have a little bit heavier range, like archers and stuff. Essentially things that the nobbler trappers would have a lot more trouble against, as in that they wouldn't be able to win a shootout against. We'll have to see. Now, but for now, we're going to counter those ice trolls with a fire belly, adding some fire damage and a little bit of work from his giant guardian. That said, the giant will take a bit of a hammering and axing, a javelining from all those marauder hunters, as they do have a tendency to focus those guys down. Some skin wolves have made it into the fray as well, but the giants do appear to be holding them off reasonably well in combination with those pigback riders, and the balance of powers remains at about 70% in our favor at the current time. The enemy does loop around a unit of marauder champions on our left flank, however, and with no giant to help against these guys, it's going to be a lot tougher. You may also notice that the effects applied are currently pretty minimal. There we go, there's the Flaming Sword of Ruin. But we don't see the sort of targeting rune and all that, as I did finally get that mod once again, like we used to do with the lesser effects, as it's about time. Can't be seeing that stuff block everything. Anyway, Marauders still attempting to get through the piles of Nobblers, but failing to do so, especially with those giants anchoring the line. The balance power shifts are about 85% in our favor, and this giant is very, very close to being destroyed. We're probably going to have to back it off and just charge everything we can at the enemy range units so that they can no longer fire. Nice shot from the Nobbler scrap launchers. Even at close range, one of the good things about the scrap launchers is that they have plenty of range at 440 or whatever it is, but at the same time, they're decent at firing at enemies at long range and at relatively short range as well. Your masters desert you indeed, and it looks like with that the Norskins will give it up and the battle will be ours. We also just managed to get Meat Feast back up and running on one of our giants, so we'll take a few seconds to allow this guy to heal right up so that he doesn't go down to either auto-resolve or to the next one of these fights. Fistful of Laurels. Hello, what do we have here? A melee attack plus 40 area augment. Pretty decent. And duration 50 seconds and a fairly significantly long time as well. Huh. I wonder whether it should be kept on you, though, as compared to other... I mean, it is a significant melee and leadership buff which the pigback riders need. However, this army is less likely to blob up as compared to other armies, other ogre-full armies. So, hard to say. And the effect range is rather small. But anyway, as I had started to say, I really enjoy our Nobbler army. It's really fun, and I feel like I have a tendency to really enjoy, like when playing greenskins, I really enjoy the sort of goblin armies, and I guess the same thing is true for the Nobbler armies as well. And I guess the same thing is true for the Chaos Dwarfs when doing my Zatan campaign. I really had a lot of fun with Gorda's Backstabber and his Hobgob armies. Everybody loves an underdog story, and these little guys triumphing against all odds, and everything on the battlefield can crush them. It's just great. And plus the Pigback Riders are just such an entertaining unit and concept. Anyway, in terms of damage, our newly acquired scrap launchers did, well, one of them did okay and the other one did very well at 12k, certainly outdamaged the other range units, which made it worth our time. I put the Razor Standard on you, but I should have put it on you. I was just, yeah. So anybody was screaming at their monitor at the time, I'm sorry, but it happens. Occupy. And another Ranger's Quiver as well. Oh wait, that was for the bounty. Yeah, a little bit of money, a little bit of a reward. Nice. And well done, Brawler Guts Gaunt. Just to double check. Okay, you have everything here, good. And hold on to the Fistful of Laurels for now. We want to send Malgat away, but we also really want to get that tier 5 Great Mossite up and running. Everybody gotta try to get up to that tier 5. Also, Ogre Throng researched. That is going to be critical for when we have significant numbers. And that's up here. Okay, so we'll have to get towards this ASAP as soon as we start getting significant numbers of tier 5s to pump up our camp numbers. Just after the nomadic beast pens, as we'll be using these guys a lot. Maybe we'll stop on by a tribal tribute as well, simply because, you know, more upkeep reductions, because even though we're getting territory now, and maybe it'll help with that. But anyway, Golgi, I want you to, I guess, hit the place directly. Auto-resolve shouldn't do any real damage to you, except to our saber tusks, and at least temporarily we will gift to client. Most likely we'll take these all from client, but for now. And unfortunately you can't reach Volary, but you might be able to raid in the Volary's territory, and that's just fine by me. And it's a tier 5. What are you worth in terms of sack value? 15k, there we go. I wonder how much you're worth for trading to our clients as well. It'll probably complete the contract either way, so. And frankly, our client is satisfied. Oh, if we take the Volary, Zatan's faction will essentially be broken. He'll never rebuild. And this is his only tower as well. And before we teleport, we gotta go to the challenge, and hopefully there will be a contract for attacking the Heralds of the Tempest, as that would be ideal. Clan Rictus wants us to attack the Legion of Asgore. Imperial Wardens, I really want more of these ancillaries to power up our units. Oh, speaking of our units. No new camps available. We got 2 turns until we got Big Daddy / Big Camp, right? That's the biggin'. As soon as we get this up and running, we're retrofitting. 2 turns away. Just gotta make sure that we have the money to do so when we're there, but we're getting there. Brawler Guts Blout. You took Dietershofen, you got that materials at sea for us. I guess you're heading to Wrecker's Point next. You probably won't be able to raid. And just go by water, right? Oh, well, by water. Go by land because you can heal or continue to heal your Stonehorn while you do. Frankly, we don't really care about keeping hold of Wrecker's Point, most likely. Because we won't be able to hold on to the whole territory, but we will keep hold of Dietershofen for now. Maybe if somebody gives us a contract to fight Nordland, it'll break all of our agreements, but take Salzenman just to get all of this. Not that it's all crazy necessary or anything. Anyway, you guys are still waiting for rank 12, so keep hold of those XP points. And Brawler Guts, you're stuck. Malgut, you can't move. Yeah, alright, that's fine. Anybody else? Greasy is good. We got a little bit of money to spend, and while we have materials at sea, we should damn well spend it. The Mawgate. Let's get you the Bells of the Lazargs up and running. Global recruitment duration -1 is a very significant buff for our faction. Otherwise, let's keep on building all the money-making buildings. We'll need them all. Get those spices up and running, more tariffs. Greasy will be happy about that, and Cauldron Town. At least our big money-making province here will probably generate a solid amount of cash. I'm gonna say probably over 4K once all the buildings are settled, which is nice. Nobler Country. Still gotta pay attention to this, but looks okay to me for now. Damn, the counting house is expensive. Alright, get the Cauldron Town up and running, and we will get some of our money back by deleting all of the growth buildings as we no longer need them, since you're all at tier 3 now and we're not going any higher than that. Since we're gonna get some of our money back, I guess we should build the counting house, but let's see. Oh, I can delete the growth things here as well. Alright, maybe I shouldn't even bother building the growth things. The growth up to tier 3 is fairly quick. I'm willing to bet this building in SFO does something other than growth, because otherwise it feels a little bit useless. You're collecting income, so we could upgrade you. You're kind of far away from everything. Dietershofen will ignore for now, Norden will ignore for now, mostly because we're not really defending them. Alfari Plain, we will, however, build the quarry back up, A, because it'll reduce construction costs, and B, because it'll provide additional trade goods to us. Altar of the Crimson Harvest, you're kind of in the same situation, but build a pay chest store at least. And we're at 2.5k, so I think no more spending for now. At least until we sack that Voller and get that big ol' cash influx. And the same thing goes for the contract, which is nearly complete, or we'll complete it next turn. Then, yes. Alright, everybody else is good to go. We will skip Bounty. I mean, Tretch is kind of nearby. Hold on to it for now. Skip, and I hope I'm not forgetting anything, because we're ending the turn. Oh, it looks like one of our fire bellies reached rank 12, meaning we can spend those points. Northern provinces, not yet, but we'll get to it shortly. Just wait, bide your time. Alright, let's see if Mercy here moves towards Pig Barter or not. We're definitely gonna pick up the damn plague from going over here, but there's not much we can do about it. And Spirit of the Jungle destroyed. Alright, some of our money back from deleting all those maw holes. Burn, Carrick Vlag. Again, too far game. Lorelorn, again with the Lorelorn Forest. Game. We're not attacking the Imperials, they're a good trading partner. So unfortunately, as much as I'd love the Talisman of Preservation, we'll decline this bounty, and we'll decline this bounty. We'll keep the Tretch Craven Tail one, because it's a lot of money, and it is one that we're likely to do, I would say. Anyway, to Wrecker's Point up next. And, ooh, hello, Felman Ingerson is there. Well, I mean, his army ain't anything crazy. I'm wondering whether it's safe to auto-resolve here. Well, I don't know, but we're gonna find out by auto-resolving. Nothing crazy damage-wise. And we will loot and occupy it because we are not holding on to it, but we should still take some of the cash. Alright, and collect the money while you're there. Spell shield, sure. And you rank 12s now. 10, 10, and 8. No. Bye. Come on, man. What about you? You have Beasts of the Mountains leveled up now. And that includes... Okay, so I was thinking since this is our Yeti-focused army, we should probably put the Snowhorn of Morn in here. It just feels appropriate, doesn't it? You know, sort of a wintry, icy army. And in fact, if that's also the case, we should maybe replace the 2 Stonehorns eventually with a couple of Thunder Tusks since they have the chilling aura. So we'll probably do that eventually. Anyway, we're at 19 out of 20. This slot was supposed to be filled with Gorgers, but we'll pop the Snowhorn and Morn in here. But it's a really cool looking model, and I want it on field as fast as possible, really. Cost per turn is pretty crazy, but do what you gotta do. Alright, there we go. Nice little winter-themed army, at least while we wait for those Thunder Tusks. Just gotta pop up a high-level camp near you. And we might have to do some camp admin, as we're probably racking up some meat in a few places as well. Malgut, I really wish you were in range, but you got time to upgrade, so... Yeah, Brawler Guts, I guess you are gonna move out. You're gonna go into ratings. Whoa, hello. Wolfric's back. We are hurt again, meaning I think we want to... Damn, you don't heal a lot. How close is Malgut's camp? It's over here. I wonder if Wolfric will move towards us if we move here and heal for a turn. Just while in camp range. Let's do that, and then we'll see where he goes. If he stays at Doomkeep, we'll be hitting him from multiple sides shortly, Slaneshi giggle. Anyway, Golgi. You get a big old date at the Volary. Which, unfortunately, the AI is not defending. I wanted to get Zatan's defeat trait, but it looks like... I mean, this is obviously not worth our time. You don't need a war banner. I mean, we'll pop it on you for now, but you don't need... Oh! I'll kill off one of the Saber Tusks. Granted, with the retrofit, we won't be keeping the Saber Tusks. Shit. It always hurts to lose a high veterancy unit like this, but this is such a horrible waste of time, auto-resolve. It's all good. And 22k for gifting it to a client, presumably a tier 4. It will mean we'll have to take it over again, but 732 client satisfaction. That should be a decent extra chunk of change. Gift to client. Alright, and it will allow us to keep moving. 50 campaign points. Okay, not keep moving for long. I just want to see if we can get to Zatan for his defeat trade. I don't really want to travel much further, but wait, let's take a look at contracts. What do we have here? Passive ability, Murderous Prowess for... well, that's kind of interesting. For 120 seconds for one of the Man-Eater units. Blessed Dread want us to target all the Cathians. Disciples of the Mob would like us to target the Exiles of Khorne, which ain't too bad, and we do want to get down there. Grimgore wants us to target the... Oh, wait, but that's the one we're currently doing. Wonder if Zatan's alive. He's got to be defending the place, right? Alright, well, we'll give it one more turn, as in get over there for one more turn. You basically can't move, can you? Alright. I just wanted him to heal to the max. Wait for one more turn, gotta get that camp up and running anyway. And loop back around to hopefully get a nice duel going with Mr. Kolek down there. Alright, Brawler Guts Gaunt, you are stuck where you are. Greasy, you are going to meet Mercy. However, you will not show him any. Go here. Hopefully you can still land. Maybe here. And let's see. Yes, in range. And close victory, medium casualties. I think considering we're liable to pick up the Plague, we should actually fight this battle. And hey, they've got a Soul Grinder and a couple more Plague Ogres. Nice, good for them. We'll deal with you in a second. I just want to double check whether there's anything else. Yes, Death Cheater Drolg will march Stancy down to Scrap Towers or past the Scrap Towers, and will meet either a Dreadrock or a Shattered Stone Bay to transfer their Lead Belchers to Greasus. Alright, and Golgi... Oh, you can't camp up, can you? Can Brawler Guts gone? I just wanted to check whether it's 1 turn now or whether it's still 2 turns, because I forgot. Well, either way, I was about to say we gotta spend the money, but let's fight first. Questions later. Fight first, eat second, everything else is secondary to all that. Greasy. No rank 12s yet? No. Greasy yourself, however. Ravenous fighters, trained beasts. Oh, I guess one thing... I just realized a small issue. If we were to make Greasus our cavalry leader, that would mean that we'd have to redo his skill points yet again, and I'm not so sure I want to do that. Anyway, to Ruin's End. Fight.
Nothing can stop the Ogre time, and they know it. We can only win.
Alrighty, Greasy getting ready to win, getting hit with a few projectiles from the enemy's Soul Grinder of Nurgle, but, well, I'm sure he can tank those just fine. And maybe even dodge a few of them. Putting those little nobblers, pushing his cart through the ringer there. But hey, they're doing pretty good. He's at 62 speed, and he has Strider as well. He's just as fast as any of the cavalry we have, so I think the Banner of Swiftness is a really good option on him. I hadn't thought to do that before when I had played him originally, but yeah, from now on I know, and pro tip for you guys, put that Banner of Swiftness on him. He can definitely make good use of it. Anyway, he barrows through the entire enemy army to head directly towards that Soul Grinder of Nurgle, and starts whacking away at it with his big ole meat stick, Slaneshi Giggle, and his, well, drumstick, and his... Mace of the Titans, and that's Mace of the Titans. I always forget this weapon's name. Scepter of okay, whatever. Scepter of Titans, and it does give him a lot of anti-large, and it looks like the Soul Grinder is having a particularly tough time. Fortunately, this allows the rest of our army to close the distance as our units of Iron Guts make their way into the fray and start stomping on Nurglings and ripping apart those enemy Furies, with of course the Pigback Riders in tow as well. A little bit slower than the rest of our force, of course, but getting in there. And besides, we wouldn't want the Pigback Riders taking the brunt of the enemy charges either. Spears or not, they are quite fragile. Over on the flanks, we've got a little bit of wall flanking action going on. Plague Toads facing off against some Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, and we'll move in our limited numbers of Saber Tusks, at the very least while we have them, to reinforce. There we go, and our Iron Guts are smashing away at the enemy main line, and by the looks of it, the main line is collapsing rather rapidly. I do enjoy fighting Nurgle, but by the looks of it, when we crush that massive force belonging to Kugath last episode, that'll probably be the biggest force belonging to Nurgle that we are liable to fight here. Can't wait to fight Skaven some more. And I know we've been fighting Chaos a decent bit over the last few episodes, fighting the Norskins, fighting Nurgle, fighting the Chaos Dwarfs. But of course we have the advent of those contracts, so we'll continue the variety. I think we'll, once we've dealt with Scrag, as in once we've Force Confederated him, I think we'll take a contract on Ulthuan, or maybe in Lustria. Ooh, I wonder what's going on in Lustria. Since I'm playing in the other campaign as Skulltaker, I'm quite interested to see what the sort of winners, the bigger factions, the superpowers on the Lustrian continent have become with the advent of the Skulltaker's faction, because obviously will have changed the sort of metagame. But anyway, looks like the enemy army, with the fall of the Soul Grinder and the enemy Lord running away from Greasy and his wheelbarrow, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will once again be ours. Lovely. Alright, there we go. It's nice to see that Greasus is starting to get dangerous. He got, by the looks of it, the second or third most amount of damage done, and, well, he's very quick on that scooter of his, and he can take quite a beating, disabling that enemy Soul Grinder and preventing it from doing as much damage, considering it was the biggest threat on the field from the enemy. Very much worth our time. Well done, Gracie. Alright, victory, settlement captured. What do we do with the place? I mean, technically we should keep... Okay, let's see if we get the plague or not. Occupy. Do we pick up the plague? Settlement receives plague, but Greasy did not. Okay, Greasy, you do not want the plague, meaning you are actually going to forego healing, and you're going to set sail and go immediately to Dread Rock. This will allow you to use that plague ship thing, and, well, hopefully not pick up the plague. Oh, a moment. Do you not have some construction cost reductions? Trade Lord, over Tyrant, construction costs for all buildings. Oh, you better not pick up the plague when we pop you back in the settlement. Okay, briefly, real quickly, let's level up the stuff at Pig Barter. Gold Horde. Kind of worrisome that we're not getting any defensive stuff here, but you know what? I feel like the Ogre territories aren't really worth defending anyway. If we lose them, we lose them. It's the camps that are important, not the sort of sedentary locations. We are a nomadic after all. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? No. Money spending yet again while we have that materials at sea. Nobbler country. All right. Let's get those money coffers up and running. Then all of these things will need to be replaced with. I mean, I guess we could do. Okay, I think we have to prioritize fire caves and meat stores. Yes, we need bruisers, and yes, we need hunters, but butchers can steal tech, and fire bellies, well, fire bellies themselves cannot steal tech. Their building does give us additional research, so I think this entire province we're going to double up on them. So larder and fire shrine, larder, fire shrine, larder, a larder, and fire shrine there. All right. Karakazorn, ready for that Karakazorn Great Hall. Dwarfs won't like it, but we will. Counting house, still horrifically expensive, but at least they pay for themselves reasonably quickly. And I guess we could do the same thing here with the larders and the counting halls. Anything missing here? +1 capacity for hunters, +1 capacity for bruisers. Let's do a bruiser building, and then here we'll do larder and then fire shrine. Alright, hopefully with like 5 to 10 of these buildings, that'll give us enough research rate to, well, to be getting on with. The Middle Mountains, Brass Keep, we do want to just do it. I don't want to continuously keep clicking over there, so let's just upgrade these while we have them. We'll upgrade Dietershofen because we're looking to keep it. Norden I've been meaning to trade away for a while. Oh, we can't trade it because it's our capital. Do we still not have a move capital ability? People have been asking for that for ages. But I suppose that how long did it take the devs to get the respec thing up and running? So it does take them a while, you know, like bureaucracy. Things move slowly. Let's go for Maw Cave here. Black Blood Pass. Yeah, fine. Let's upgrade Help It. You know, one thing I just realized is an issue with not being able to get allies is we have no vision of anywhere of anything, which ain't so great. Well, what can you do? Also, a Black Blood Pass, I was about to say you can collect money, but you make no money until you get the money building, so yeah, no, you can't. Bone Road, Veil of Titans. Yeah, start on the... You know what, let's hold on to the rest of the cash. And we're not going to do anything in Norska. At least not yet. Maybe you. And just to save on the expense. 4 turns left of materials. Let's see, it takes 5 turns to upgrade this stuff anyway, so that that doesn't have to be prioritized right now. It also makes me think that we should set up an auto-resolve army at some point to set it out to sea to gather up more islands, though it's a lot more worthwhile doing so in SFO than it is in vanilla because of the supply lines. Supply lines are horrendous, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, I believe we're good to go the next turn, minus the commandment available here. We'll pop in the Might Makes Right, and once again Deplaguify, at least until Nurgle is gone for good. End turn. Alright. Sultan. Military access. I don't even know why he keeps asking for military access. It doesn't do anything for us or for him. We can ignore military trespass. Well, I mean, he just wants the agreement because it's available to him. I'll probably just do some of those eventually once we settle in with whichever territories we're definitely keeping and which ones we are not so much. Anyway, well, let's see what we got up next. Greasy, you've plague ship. Ooh, Imperial Wardens get Confederate. Oh, that means less trade agreement. Oh well. I guess you're heading to Dreadrock and not Healing. Death Cheater Drogue. This can't let this guy reach you, so go here. I assume that he doesn't get a bonus one out at sea. Like, wait. Go to sea. Let's just do again. Campaign movement range plus 50. Campaign movement range plus 50. Okay, yeah. It's fine. It's not like plus 200 or whatever. Alright, and you'll both be able to hopefully meet up at Dreadrock. Number of traps, 4 trap uses for Nobbler Trappers, plus 2, great, but it's nomadic beast pens that we're looking to get. Razorsag Doomkeep. Yeah, sure. And eliminate the following character, Oscar Trollhewer. Hello. And for 16,000 gold, that actually sounds like it might be worth traveling over there, at least for a bit. Golgi, I assume you can't reach the Fortress of Eyes? No, you cannot. What you can potentially do is about here and then start raiding the place. Zatan, there he is, finally. We've been looking for you, bud. And we got camps up and running as well. Ooh, wait, that's important. Okay, so the faster we set up the big camp, the faster we can retrofit. The problem is right now we can't afford it, so we would be able to afford it if we complete the agreement, but, I mean, we can get a pretty big ol' buff to this, unless Zatan actually tries to run, which is also a distinct possibility. Either way, I think we want to set the camp up. And I do mean the big camp, so yeah, deploy. Yes. Alright, Glog Thick Skull back up and running, now called the Fortress of Eyes camp. You can't rename camps, can you? It'd be nice if you could, but I guess you can't. Alright, that's fine. And just out of curiosity, if Golgi were to recruit from the Fortress of Eyes camp, they're not actually that expensive. Huh. We'd certainly be able to get another lord nearby, and look at all those man-eaters. There's such good stuff in this camp. I don't want to sit around for 2 turns while the Fortress of Eyes is there. I think if Zatan stays, we won't go on this way. Well, there was that guy. You know what? We'll have another Lord recruit for Golgi, even though I assume Golgi has the impressive wealth reduction. Ooh, mentor. Yes. We also want to get you snacks. Ooh, mentor or snacks? I guess mentor first, as wrong as it feels to skip on snacks for a turn, but anyway, we'll deal with you in a second. Let's deal with everybody else. Brawler Guts Gaunt. Wolfric, I assume will run, but he might fight, which, well, we'll see. We're rank 12 now. Puncture, Immovable Bulk, and Brutish Thug, and into Standard Die. Not reading these because we already have. As we did another Bruiser, I don't know, like 10 minutes ago. Fire Breath into Eruption, I guess. What does Flame Incarnate do? Melee Damage Reflection. That's solid as well. Eruption is an explosion, though. Let's start with Eruption, I think. Yeah. Alright, and then you're gonna do the same thing. Eruption. Lovely. What do we need here with you? We could keep walking to get that extra campaign movement range or a little bit more fightiness. Ooh, I do actually like the extra armor on the Ogre Paymasters since they don't have a lot of armor in the first place. But we also need to max out to rank 7 since these guys have finally reached it, meaning we'll go for Beasts of the Mountains and into Rally and then into the rank 7 stuff. We gotta keep pumping those numbers for those Nobblers up. Let's see about Wulfric again. He just keeps getting bullied by Nobblers. The Chaos Gods are probably kind of upset about the whole thing. You can go on the Pigback Riders, the Piggyback Knights to be specific. And once again, Wulfric, you're gonna have to face off against those giants. Go.
Think of the reward or the violence. Whatever helps us best, really.
Alright, here we go. Wulfric back for round 3, unless I'm mistaken. I guess he just can't get it through his skull that his army won't beat the Nobblers. It's probably hurting his pride, at least a little bit. Anyway, as usual, we start with the Nobbler Trappers Vanguard deployed forward, getting a little bit of damage into those Skinwolves, taking about 10 to 15% of their HP, and about 30% of the HP off a unit of Marauder Horsemen. I was not quite expecting the enemy army to get annoyed at us so quick, but that's alright. We'll send the Paymaster and the Bruiser, as well as some Pigback Riders, into the fray to deal with those Skinwolves, and hopefully start bringing them down fairly quick. That is a lot of tiny little Nobbler models attacking individual Skinwolves, and these are the unarmored variants, so by the looks of it, they will go down rather quick. Unlike them, however, the Trolls make their way into the fray. The Ice Trolls with Wulfric backing them up and heading towards our most hurt Giant. Nice stagger to the Giant, who's down to about 60% of its HP, and we're gonna bump it up a little bit with the Cascading Fire Croak, or at least the effective HP caused by the higher melee defense. Once again, Wulfric will face off against the Giants, trying to smash the massive Howdah on top of that Mammoth of his. And man, Mammoths are so huge they make even the Giants look tiny. But that's alright. They may be huge, but that just makes them bigger targets and allows more mammoth, or allows more giants to attack them at the same time, with Wulfric dropping down to about 60% of his HP. Over on the left and right flanks, the Nobbler Trappers continue their shootouts, and their millions upon millions of daggers flying into and dropping hundreds of enemy Marauder Horsemen. Does look like our Giants are still taking damage from enemy range units. We're going to send our Pigback Riders to do a little bit of a melee-on-melee action. Let's see how they fare against the enemy Marauders in a one-on-one. Oh, little lance. It's so cute. And cute or not, they are doing pretty well here. The Marauder Hunters are getting absolutely bodied by the Pigback Knights. Very nice. And they will run over, having obliterated those Marauder Hunters. And it does look like some of the enemies attempted to rally, but too little too late. The enemy army took way too much damage, and with that, the battle is ours. Very nice. This army, once again, working out fairly well. I wonder how it would fare against various other factions. But anyway, we'll see once we've taken Norska over. Dark Elves are nearby, after all. Malice is nearby. That will be pretty difficult, or at least to kill Malice himself, depending on what the rest of his force will be like. Anyway, we're going to find out about that later. Poor Wulfric. Will the bullying ever end? We got kind of meh rewards. We might want to heal up, as we still will have to fight next turn, I guess. Though, on the other hand, we are hankering for more cash right now. It's probably the way to do it. Yeah, take the cash, ransom captives.
Feeling kind.
Alrighty, and once again, well done to the Noblartastic army, and he'll be able to hunt down Wolfric for good. Good. Well, not for good, but you know what I mean. Ooh, Yeti Wrangler. I don't really care about the Crown of Command yet, but I assume you don't have a Yeti Wrangler, which you do not. Recruit rank reduction. Yes, Yeti Wrangler. Oh, we got another one. We got one on Brawler Guts Blout, we got one on Brawler Guts Gaunt, we got one on Golgi, we got one on we got one on Greasus. I think that's our 4 armies right now, right? Blout and Gaunt, yeah. Alright. Kill this. And let's hope the auto resolve doesn't do worse than... Well, so I guess we're about to find out. Not so bad. And 0 replenishment. I hate when it does that. It's just, it's just insulting. Anyway, you have to suffer attrition. We have no choice in the matter. Unless we pop up another camp. I mean, I guess this wasn't a high-level camp unless I'm mistaken, unlike the greasy camp, so I guess we can still do so. Go here. And I guess pop it up. Yeah. Alright, there we go. That prevents you from taking the attrition, which is much needed. And what does this camp have again? Yeah, it's only tier 3, so I need to get to work on it. Camp deployed, we will... Okay, we'll have to do a little bit of camp meat transfer administration between... Or, actually, right now. And Brawler Guts, Blout... I would love for you to attack Pack Ice Bay, but Pack Ice Bay is a broken province, meaning we can't do it this turn, meaning we can... The only thing we can do is this. Jump around. Hopefully this guy doesn't immediately sail out and go for Wrecker's Point. I would not be surprised. Though, if we're not looking to keep it... Wrecker's Point, was it? Yeah. 24. 4k gold, it's probably more than it'll generate for a while. We could also force them into a war, but I don't see what war would actually benefit us here. So I guess we'll just do that. There you go, enjoy. And there we go. And you have the full province, and now he can't... Well, I mean, he could declare war on you and attack you, but either he runs or he doesn't. Lovely. Still no rank 12s. Very, very close on Brawler Guts Blout, though. Yes. And you have all the offerings to the Great Mop and running? Yes, indeed, you do. We could start using the attrition-causing offering as well. This enemy armies in local province, but does this force attrition, I wonder? Like, will the units in here start suffering attrition? Although I guess it might be a bit of a waste of meat. Anyway, the rest of that looks good to me. Next, what we want to do is do some of the camp transfers. You will want to immediately start upgrading that Ancient Tooth Circle, and then the rest of this stuff is going to take a while. Alright, fine. What camp is this? Doomkeep Camp. Alright. Transfer from you to Doomkeep Camp. Like so. Say, I don't know, 800. Like so, and then Doomkeep Camp, upgrade the Recruiters Table, definitely the Feast Tent, definitely the Bounty Tent. This is fine. We'll have to have the Camp Bowl in this army. Yeah. And then we'll have to do both of these as well. 300 and 300. I'm not so certain that we have sufficient meat to do this. Golgi hasn't actually generated a lot of meat from his last fight, so there isn't any need to transfer. Greasy does have some meat on him. He's got a little meat on his bones. You could transfer to... Well, any of the camps will work. This one's on the way to tier 5, which we should actually start everything up and running ASAP, because... Also build a bounty tent. Is there anything here that's critical? I want to say the bestest weapon pile. What about Moobs? How are you doing, Moobs? You should get the bounty hut up and running. We should also get you some more troops once they're a little bit more... Oh, get the lead belchers and some better stuff now. Or do we pack Moobs up? Pyongyang Camp is a tier 4. Generating a little bit of cash fire rating. It's not nothing. But we should still tote the camps around to make as much use of Master of Meat as possible. We should also grab that Impressive Wealth. Or start ignoring Impressive Wealth in favor of Tithe Taker for the additional meat generation. Well, it's only 5 per turn. It's basically nothing. And then come from raiding, though. You know what, I'm gonna have to think about that one. Let's keep going towards... Actually, Renowned and Fear doesn't do too much for us other than the recruitment cost, but I guess when we build your elite units, that might be the way. Alright, fine. Go for Devouring Maw and into Renowned and Feared. If anyone's Renowned and feared, it's moves. Sky Striders, we'll save that for the cavalry army, and the rest of this I think we'll ignore for now. Alright, do a little bit of meat transfer, I think. Alright, this also... Okay, we need to get all the capacities up and running, unless we pack them up. We do need a camp near Greasy, so we don't have to do this again. There is that. Oh, actually, speaking of doing that again, if we get another lord, like... Did I not have a free high-level guy? No? We could summon a new one. Not this guy. You have points to spend. Yeah, but you're actually a decent lord that we could use you as a... I guess we could get you up and running now, and then... Okay, yeah, fine. Let's get you, Death Cheater Zoc. Like so. Then, temporarily, we're gonna go for Impressive Wealth to get the recruit rank recruitment cost reductions, into Route Marcher, into recruitment cost at a lovely jubbly, and come from sacking and looting, corruption, growth, none of this matters whatsoever, Draft Master is what we want, and into Renowned and Feared for the recruit rank. Healers, just healing. Quartermaster, I guess go Quartermaster into, I don't know, Healer into Renowned and Feared, and the rest of this can, I think, be ignored, as in nothing else will help with recruitment. Yeah. Anything else? I think not. I guess the XP. A tiny bit of XP for the recruits. Anyway, the reason we got this guy would be to recruit a few units for Golgi. Now, Golgi can recruit them at rank 7 immediately, but it would also mean not moving, so I didn't want to do that. Now, what I didn't check is... Well, I guess we don't have to check it right now. Let's get him at least 3 more Golgi's man-eaters. He definitely needs some man-eaters with ogre pistols, so let's get him... I don't know. This 2 is probably not enough. I did want to get him at least 2 more lead belchers so that he has a bit of a range option. I think we do need at least 2 more man-eaters with ogre pistols. And then a couple of Iron Fists man-eaters, or at least 1 to have some, you know, severely defensive units, and then a couple of great weapon man-eaters as well. I'll do a recount of what's needed here and what's not, and then we'll figure that out. We also got to remember to send Bragg the Gutsman elsewhere. Anyway, at least his retrofit has at last begun. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. Unless you giggle, whatever. Big Barter. Let's get you your pay chest store. Ostland we'll still ignore. Yes to the exotic pet store. Why is everything rhyming? it's freaking me out. 6,000 gold for the Cauldron Town due to the massive increase of the uninhabitable forest. I'm gonna say no. You collect income? You can, so we can build the gold hoard at least. Oh, and it'll barely generate any cash because of the... Yeah, minus 40% because of the red territory. Let's just ignore that. Only the green territories are worth our time. I should still probably upgrade the Cauldron Town here simply because we will still want the Confederation of the Other Ogres. Let's get the pay chest store, Mountains of Hell. What did this do again? Decent. We'll still upgrade you though, and I guess we're completely out of cash now. Alright, we'll have to be careful. Next up, Razorsack Doomkeep, about to happen. Oscar Trollhewer, we're on the way. Is that the leader of the USEC? I think that's the leader of the USEC. And Tretch Craventail all the way down here. I guess keep hold of these. I feel like we'll be holding on to Tretch Craventail for a long time. You know what? Let's redo it. Let's get a different one. But we'll hold on to this one because it's 16k and it's really nearby, and we're going this way anyway. So, now we can skip, and turn. I want to see if we can't get that Zatan fight going. This particular episode, don't you run... Zatan! He's probably going to his last territory, but I think he can't run away from his last territory. Non-aggression pact. Do we have a trade agreement with you? No. How about the trade agreement? How much? You won't do it for money? Alright, we're gonna have to wait for more trade goods. We'll do it with the non-aggression pact. I guess another reason to get the friendly relations going with all the Imperials would be to get more friendly relations with all the other Imperials in order to get more trade agreements going, etc, etc, etc. Another Ranger's Quiver. Oh no, it got aborted? Or what? I thought we already had that one. Oh, we have 2 for Oscar Troll. Okay, we really have to kill this guy before it's aborted. Yeah, okay, no, we need to get over here. It's 30k. It's Warhammer 30k. Alright, Zatan. Well, it's not Zatan. Golgi. Fortress of Eyes is easily removable. Also, should we have upgraded? Oh no, this is big camp. We don't need to do anything there. I'll resolve this. And gift to client will give us 20k. Fantastic. Alright. And then move towards Zatan. I imagine he'll keep running. But what can you do? Maybe we're sufficiently damaged that he will... I mean, I'm damaged, but... come on. Ah, he'll stay and he'll fight. And he'll die. Right now. Ah, lost control of my mouse there for a sec. Alright, at least we didn't miss the, he had to say killing or kill it. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Kill is the word of the day, so, and that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, Golgi and the Eshin Man-eater will rush forth. Ooh, Eshin Man-eater taking a decent pile of arrows, and he does get the enfeebling foe dropped upon him as well. He probably wanted to activate his ability, but the proximity of Zatan, who silences all abilities and removes magical damage, isn't really helping us out all that much. At the very least, we did catch Zatan, and we will do some fighting here. Though Golgi is unfortunately trapped by that sadistic snare and unable to move for at least another 6 seconds, while these guys attempt to go after the Eshin Man-eater, who has dropped down to half HP, in fact, below. I'm gonna pop that Harmonic Convergence upgraded and get him the heck out of there, while Golgi and Bragg the Gutsman head towards Zatan. Taking a while for them to find him. I think, I was wondering, maybe we should put Bragg the Gutsman into a sort of all-hero army. It was one of the army types suggested when I asked you guys for army types. We obviously don't have the capacity to do this as yet, but well, we're working on it. Get like 10 bruisers as the main line, and then the hunters as the range, and a few mages and stuff. Bragg the Gutsman to lead. It might be nice. It might be nice. Anyway, the rest of the battle is going reasonably well for us. I believe Zatan is pretty much done down to about 70%, by about 70% of his HP. Still attempting to escape Golgi, who is chasing him down, but the rest of his line is... I'm gonna say on the verge of collapse, but they are hitting back fairly nicely as well. We can see the HP values on a lot of our Ogre bulls are pretty badly, well, the bulls have been pretty badly mauled here and there. Not to worry though, I think we should just be able to manage here. And besides, now that our retrofits have begun, down goes Zatan, now that our retrofits have begun, we don't really care nearly as much about the basic Ogre bulls in this army, because it's about time that we get the army in pretty much all man-eaters, or get the army to be pretty much all man-eaters. Anyway, with the fall of Zatan, it looks like the rest of his army is lost the will to fight. And wow, look at all that range fire missing that demon smith. Oh, good. Anyway, of course, the enemy still has a couple, or at least one unbreakable unit, the Skullcracker here. I always forget, how decent are you doing? 2.4k damage. Remember last time I played, I really enjoyed using these things. And they were quite useful in my Chaos campaign as I built them in an army or two. Well, they were really nice in SFO. Anyway, looks like the Skullcracker is doing decently well against some of those Ogre Bulls, considering it has 9 kills. And all of those are Ogres. That's actually not too bad. I think what I should have done here was told the Lead Belchers and the other units to destroy it. In fact, I think it was supposed to be destroyed already here. I think this is a desync, which has been happening periodically. But weirdly enough, the desyncs haven't been so bad. It's just that units continue to be alive in the replay even when they weren't. But I'd say it's not so bad because it does allow us to see a few extra units in action. Certainly not a big deal. Skullcracker is certainly making mincemeat of those long-drawn Slayer pirates, rather, while the rest of our units chase stuff around, because the rest of our units don't realize that this thing exists because of the small desync. But either way, the rest of the army has been destroyed, and it looks like nobody's gonna fire on this thing. Because again, it doesn't exist. These guys will fire on it. I'm wrong. One more shot. I just want to see this thing pop off. Come on. Ogre pistols. One volley will do it. Please don't tell me they're out of the arc. There it goes. It looks like it ran into some Ogre Bulls and got destroyed. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. And actually, Zatan gave us one of the better fights of the enemies so far. He was certainly able to give us a show. That silence of his, preventing you from casting any spells or using any abilities, really, really irritating. Especially for Golgi, who has 3 extra abilities due to his sort of gambling trait, and I guess the same thing goes for all of our single entities. So yeah, that made Zatan tough. Plus that ensnaring annoyance, the annoying snare, the sadistic snare, that's it, that prevents you from moving for, what was it, 30 seconds? It's a long time. Just keeping Golgi in place was very dangerous to our Russian man-eater, who got severely damaged, and if it wasn't for that heal of ours, could have taken, a lot more damage. There was a lovely fight, and just generally speaking. Ransom those captives, gotta keep making that cash. Ooh. And some captives. We are near our new camp, so we should still be able to heal up, assuming we don't leave the zone of it. It's just at the edge of the range, and what do we have here? Range plus 15% for artillery units. It's a really good trait, damn. Do we keep him alive? You know what? I mean, our ranged army would really like to get that trait, wouldn't it? It's a very significant buff. I don't imagine this counts monstrous cannon infantry. I assume it doesn't count lead belchers, unfortunately. 220, 200. It's probably something. They're probably getting 10% range from something. Yeah, they're getting 10% range out of continuous volley, but this only applies to range units. This does mean that we'll want him back up and running, so what we'll want to probably do is raise these 2 on the way to get that guy who was worth 30,000 gold. And then get the Zatan defeat trait. I didn't even think about this. For a lord that's specifically going to lead our ranged army. Now, what kind of lord would be best leading our ranged army? It's probably going to be a Slaughtermaster, because what's the best option here? Lore of the Great Maw would give us missile resistance and some stuff. Lore of Beasts, Curse of Anric here would give us speed reduction in an area when overcast, which would be significant for the ranged army, and potential for Pan's Impenetrable Pelt and all that sort of stuff. The other option would be to get a Fire Belly instead. We can use the Fire Bellies to spam the Flaming Sword of Ruin, which is a 25% missile damage increase in an area for 30 seconds. But if that were the case, then we probably wouldn't want the Butcher, and we'd want to instead use the... Oh wow, look, our bruiser capacity is up and running. Yeah, there we go, our capacities are growing. We'll be needing these guys for our new armies. Love it. And in fact, we should probably get a few butchers up and running to start stealing tech from various places. Anybody have any success chance increases? No, but there's a tough guy here, and that's probably still worth. And there's a tough guy here. Gotta pick the best ones. Ooh, poison. Now wait, these guys have a. I think hunters have something on them that gives them. You don't have a hunter. I guess you don't need a hunter, but I'll check the other hunters if they have a contact effect or not, because if they do, there might be a good reason to use one. Anyway, I got distracted. We need a lord for the ranged army. I'll think about it. Paymaster would be good because it reduces stuff, but the melee attack and defense that it offers would be less, perhaps, valuable than... Just thank you. Would be less valuable than... Let me just see what he has here. He has stock, but he has no range attacks of his own, but frankly, none of the lords do. Tyrants should have the option to have an ogre pistol. Tyrants should have a weapon choice and mount choice. That's what should make tyrants unique. Make them get anything they want, but no real army buffs compared to the Paymaster, and no magic, but weapon choice and stuff. That's my opinion. Yeah, so weapon strength, melee defense, melee attack, great for any kind of army, but the all-ranged army wouldn't get too much value out of this. Same with the charge bonus. I mean, in a pinch, we could pop the massive increase to melee attack if the enemy manages to get close enough into melee. And it's not like Ogre melee ain't hybrid units. 10% reduction. But a caster would also help out with a lot with that. I'm gonna still say we should probably start with a Slaughtermaster of Beasts. We can always swap... No, wait, we can't swap it out later. I mean, I guess the choice would be Firebelly or not. What's the melee defense and attack stats? Okay, so the lead belchers are always going to be very fragile. You know, I'll think about it. We're probably not going to completely end this turn this episode anyway, so let's just wipe this guy out. We'll head towards Ironstorm and then Dragons whatever. On resolve. And take the money. No, it's barely any money. Take that. Take the captives. Alright, and then move back to not suffering attrition. Right. Huh. Shouldn't the camp make you immune to attrition? Yes, it should. Okay, I don't know. It was still giving us the skull, and I was upset about it. Alright. You go here. We'll take Ironstorm next. We're at 3,000 over 900. It's just that we don't have any other contracts to attack these guys, so... Whoa. Shield of Distraction, -5 melee attack, hex all area, all nearby. Damn. For killing the Iron Claw works. Huh. I kind of would like to know what their defeat rate is. Damn. But we'd have to teleport there right now, and we have like 30,000 gold tied up in one Norscan guy from 2 bounties on him. I'm gonna be so upset if he dies here. You better not die, Norscan man. Yeah, anyway, let's continue. Maybe we have one more battle under our belts here, maybe we don't. We will find out. Brawler Guts gone. You're gonna take Doomkeep for ourselves, and we'll be holding on to it. Close victory. Probably gonna take damage doing this. Yeah, well, you know what? Quick save. I sometimes don't trust the auto-resolve to not kill off our single entities. That's fine. Sometimes it does that. Occupy. Alright, another pit fighter, an enchanted shield. You can hold on to that. Mission aborted. Razor... I forgot that it was to Razor Sack it. Yeah, that's why I always check bounties. And... Oh! We got ourselves a free Gorger cave here. More hunter capacity. Go figure. I did put... Really? Really, Felman Ingerson? Really? That is so rude. He's gonna take one of these things back. I mean, I guess we could chase after him. It's probably the only thing to do. I mean, he'll probably still land and sack the place, but... Sorry, Brawler Guts Blout. I really wanted you to attack Pack Ice Bay, but... We'll need to deal with Felman first. We'll see where he goes after this. Dietershofen would be the most annoying because we'd have to go like this, and depending on what he does with it, might not be possible this turn. You are going to turn off raiding. We're not going to waste any money on you, and we will... I'll maybe transfer some meat or maybe not between the episodes. If you guys all... Oh, wait. Wrong army. You. We're waiting for you to reach rank 12. Nearly there. Wanted that stone horn of Morn to enter combat, but not to worry. We're getting there. Greasy. The greasiest in all the land. You are headed to Dreadrock, which is tier 5... tier 4. Would have been amazing if it was tier 5. Wait for this. Death Cheater Drogue. I assume you'll be able to land here in non-march stance. Ooh, wait. Transfer to Greasy. Can you transfer to Greasy? No. Land? Then transfer to Greasy? No. Okay, he'll come in as a reinforcement. We'll need those guys to knock out a few of the... enemies. And I guess we'll fight this in a second, and I'll deal with the... That's a decent portion of admin between the episodes then. Alright, one more fight. 5 fights this episode. Oh, you've already ranked 12. Okay, I'm glad I checked this before actually getting into the fight. Running with the pack. Into roaming free. Not granted useful in this particular army, as Greasy probably won't have anything. Maybe a couple stone horns just because he's going for elites. Frankly, yeah, this would only... I guess we don't necessarily have to keep this Hunter in Greasy's army, but they're quite nice as heroes, so yeah. Savage Predators, and you'll get your own Stonehorn at rank 15, and in the meantime we'll get you your... Gutsy, hit points and unit mass, stock, speed, range, missile strength, sneaky stalker. Does anybody know, does the stock application work when you're on a Stonehorn, or does it not? If it does, stalking on the Stonehorn with the additional speed and range could potentially do a decent big ol' range pile of damage. But there might be a trait on the big monsters that makes them always spottable, and I just don't know about it. And I'm gonna go Sword Nobblers for now, and I'm hoping somebody can answer that. Somebody who has run into the same issue. You can guard Gutflag. I always go for the Feastmaster on these guys for the replenishment, but the regeneration is also quite nice. And then we'll go into Foe Seeker so that you can reposition quickly. And Bruiserman. What are you missing? I guess we'll get Tyrant's Fist for that additional 10% experience for all of these guys. And then lastly, Greasy himself. I guess we'll max out Tools of Destruction. I really want to get Snacks ASAP so he can heal himself, but just so that we don't have to go into the red tree again, at least not right now. Well, looks good to me. Well, let's get fighting. I'm gonna definitely need the lead belchers because I imagine the enemy walls are up here, as in will be firing back on us. Go.
To us.
Frankly, I'm kind of impressed that Greasy said it all belongs to us rather than it all belongs to me. But anyway, here we go. Got those lead belchers right on time for a siege battle as well. I wouldn't say quite that we're going to necessarily need them because we still have that wall breaker, wall smasher, stone shatter, earth what. Every time. The thing that allows us to break down walls and stuff. But it's a little faster with the lead belchers. Plus the lead belchers can bring down towers, and they're not limited to 3 uses either, though there are 3 of them. Anyway, I'm going to wait until the lead belchers get on the field and then have them use their cannons to bombard the enemy both on top of the walls and the walls themselves. They don't have the arc to bombard anything behind the walls, unfortunately, but that's alright. By that time, we'll just send in all our troops. Besides, waiting a little bit isn't necessarily a bad thing either, as I believe it's either a minute or 2 minutes cooldown on that stone shatter thing, and it'll allow us to use it all 3 times. We destroy the gate, we've made 1 breach in the wall here, and we will make 1 more breach in this wall here as well, where for some reason there's a little pile of units clustered. Anyway, lead belchers are in and they're starting to bombard that wall and bring it down real quick. There's that other stone shatter. I was hoping that they might fire sort of through the breach in the wall, but it looks like they don't really want to. Range units have a bad tendency not to make use of this. Like, you would think that considering they have the range, they could attempt to fire at stuff through there, but maybe it's just too hard of a shot, and I'm underestimating the difficulty of being able to aim at anything when you're holding a cannon in your hands. But anyway, there are some units on top of the walls which might be a little bit more accessible, especially if these guys can land a few nice shots through those Merlins, which by the looks of it they are able to do. You'd think that would be an actually more difficult shot than through this big old breach, but hey, what do I know? And hey, there you go, that's what I wanted. Do that a little bit. And we'll watch this bombardment a teensy bit for a little while. We obviously, unlike many campaigns where we'd have many a siege where there's a lot of bombardment going on of the enemy settlement, the Ogre campaign hasn't really been one of those. As most of the sieges we just sort of, you know, went in, rather than bombarding anything, so there is that to consider. Anyway, another unit will make its way on top of the walls to take more cannon fire from those lead belchers. We're just gonna back them off a little bit as they got too close to the walls, and I think they have a better shot from up here. And just get that elevation from the hill so that they can have an easier way to fire upon the enemy. Like so. There we go. That's a nice volley, taking about half of the HP off that unit of Exalted Plague Bearers. And I just saw that harpoon just sort of sail up into the sky. Oh, you gotta love the sound of the lead belchers firing, though. Isn't it fantastic? I want to see what they sound like if they had Cathian Grand Cannons. Which has also just one of the best sound designs for cannon firing. Oh, this is is this the Festering Stooges? No, it's just a unit of regular Exalted Plague Bearers. Huh. I thought this was the... Oh, maybe I'm just not used to Exalted Plague Bearers. I thought this was the color scheme for the Festering Stooges, and the Exalted Plague Bearers look just like regular Plague Bearers, but with the with fancier swords, but apparently not. No, they've got a completely different color scheme. Was it always this way? Maybe it was always this way. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, I think that's enough bombardment. I'm going to move forward a little bit, see those lead belchers continue to do their thing, and in fact, by firing on top of the walls, they will bring down a wall piece. That was a pleasant surprise as well. And Greasy moving forward, and we have some Pox Riders as well. I'm not so sure that they want to get into combat with Greasy, but hey, and they can give it a shot at least. Many a Nurglings. Many a Nurgling. Good job, Ruinous. All of these creatures, and you can't eat a single one. I think there are no mortal defenders in this particular settlement either. It's all demonic units, meaning I can't even eat any Forsaken or Chaos Warriors or anything like that. Have to, I wonder. I mean, because the Great Maw, like, if you were to chuck... I feel like if you were to chuck demons down the Great Maw, I feel like it wouldn't mind, maybe? That's an interesting question. And just because demons don't have technically physical flesh, but the Great Maw is a sort of warp entity, a realm partially in the realm of souls, a reflection, a deity, and I feel it could eat demons. And what would happen? Would this be a way to actually destroy a demon? Is a demon devoured by the Great Maw actually destroyed for good, as opposed to banished to the realm of souls? I gotta look into this. This is something I had never considered before, and now I made myself interested. Anyway, while I'm being distracting with this thought, the Iron Guts are having a nice big old fight against the enemy. Ooh, you know what? We gotta maybe get a couple more Bruisers in Greasus's army, because the Bruisers look fantastic together with the Iron Guts, don't they? They have similar sort of a big old, heavy, thick armor on them. Yeah, gotta try to remember to do that. Can never go wrong with a few more bruisers in here. I mean, we don't technically have to keep the pigback riders in here, but they're nice in every army. Very decent unit, especially considering they're fighting sort of below the ogres at the same time as they are. But nonetheless. Alright, Greasus' Soul Hunter, who we will probably keep, not to be confused by the Soul Hunter. Or with the Soul Hunter. Either way. While we're hunting souls, or for the Great Maw perhaps, if that actually works. Either way, with that, the battle is pretty much ours. The last Nurgle units fade away. There is a unit of Plague Bearers attempting to run towards us, but they will break. This one looks sad, as they get banished. Jade Lion, passive ability, immunity to psychology, maybe in the Nobbler army would be useful, as we only have one unit with Nobbler kicker. But anyway, nice little fight. The siege definitely went in our way. The addition of those lead belchers certainly made it a lot easier, and the lead belchers were able to rack up massive amounts of kills as well by gunning the enemy units down while they attempted to close the distance with their relatively low Nurglite movement speed. We are going to occupy the place, as tempting as sacking it would be. Wait. It's a tier 4, so we occupied a tier 3. If we sack it, it'll be a tier 2. I'd rather have it immediately at tier 3. Occupy. Alright, and Greasy, I'm gonna swap that item to a different one. Anyway, that maxes out Dreadrock and allows us to keep it, and it's another province that will generate us lots and lots of cash. And you know what? Let's upgrade Cauldron Town here immediately. It also feels appropriate for Greasy, who's, very money-minded, to be going after these settlements. Now, we do have another plague here, but I unfortunately do think that we need to heal for the turn, so I guess we'll risk getting the plague, and we'll get Shattered Stone Isle next turn, or I should say next episode, as we are finally out of time. This is the 5th battle in, and every time there's a lot of battles, it means a lot of admin, which I guess has been the case for this campaign, and even more so for Skulltaker. So lots of admin lately, but hey, I'm on vacation right now, and I don't have to go into work, which means I can actually do the editing and not have to worry about keeping battles to 2 and 3 per episode. Anyway, calling it here. Next time, Zatan and Kugath will be destroyed, and we will take up a new contract, hopefully with the retrofitted army, with the new man-eaters up and running, and we'll start working on our next army, whether it be cavalry or whether it be all range with the iron blasters and whatnot. You guys decide, so get your votes in before next step. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.